Hey, good people. Welcome to Miss LeAnnya's Third Eye 13. Miss LeAnn's my also known as SAG after name. Yah is my Thursday born Akan day name. So LeAnnyaa is my adopted name, living in Ghana, West Africa. And this is where you'll get my third eye view on any number of things in or about 13 minutes. 13 being my favorite number. So again, welcome in. Okay, so on New Year's Eve, I posted a review of the documentary Maxine's Baby, the Tyler Perry story. And now this revised review will include more of my thoughts on his story, not so much the similarities in our stories. So, since it is an Amazon original production, if you have access to Amazon Video and you have just under 2 hours to watch or listen, I do encourage you to take the time because it is very inspirational how he went from his foundation to the empire that he's built. And the extent of my critique of the production is just that I didn't think it was very well storyboarded, meaning that it wasn't always chronological. And I think that is critical for a good documentary. So, if one scene follows another that's set at a totally different time, there should be some type of text overlay on the screen. 10 years before or 10 years later or something like that. And specifically, I'm thinking of the scene going from the grand opening of the current Tyler Perry Studios in October of 2019 to a scene immediately following where he's dressed the same in a white tux jacket and tie, but his mother is there. And his mother transitioned 10 years before the opening of the studios. So I don't know if people would pay attention to those details and piece it all together. I don't know, but I'm just saying that to me, that is my criticism of the production value. But the value of the narrative, as I said before, is extremely inspirational. In those other segments, when I said, oh my, it is really, really something. Really, I meant, oh my, his father is really, really something. A show enough cold piece of work. So when I was watching it, I thought, okay, now I understand why he wrote that the Kimberly character in Medea's Big Happy Family was mean as a junkyard dog because, he was that. I had never heard that expression before, so that's why it stuck with me. When I heard it the first time watching the movie, I was like, oh my, that's mean. That's got to be mean. So anyway, one of his cousins, Tyler's cousins, who was sort of acting as the narrator of their early home life, he is his mother's sister's son. So his first cousin, and my impression is that they were pretty much brought up together. So probably they would call each other cousin brothers. So when he was trying to go and see his uncle, and he would not even allow him in the gate. he was cursing him out, just like, no, get away. And his cousin was saying, I'm just stopping by to see you, Uncle Emmett. But he was having none of that. And so during that scene, I was like, okay, yeah, that's it. Mean as a damn junkyard dog. There it is. And so another thing that his cousin said that stuck with me was, I don't know how he sleeps at night. This is what his cousin was saying about Tyler. But he was saying it in a way of like how he's able to sleep through the haunting or the nightmares of his abusive past. My first thought to that was, it's clear he has forgiven his father, and that's how he's able to sleep. But the reason that it stuck with me is because I always thought that if I had a chance to interview him, that would be one of the questions I would ask. How do you sleep at night? But mine is more about the curiosity of how he's able to rest with all of the characters and their emotions and the dialogue that swirl around in his head for the amount of content that he turns out in the amount of time that he does it. It's like, how do you sleep? And so then after hearing his cousin say that, I'm like, well, the question needs to be, do you sleep? And so, yeah, that would be the question now. It makes me think of the scene in Hoodlum when Bumpy is asking Bub, how do you sleep at night, old man? And he's like, how do you know I sleep at all? So anyway, I digress. But another thing in the documentary that really stuck with me was when Oprah Winfrey said, in effect, that given the level of torture Tyler had suffered, it was a wonder that he had not developed a personality disorder. And my thought then was, well, it's clearly his extraordinary imagination that saved him, that kept him from insanity, because he talks about it in the film, how he would retreat to his hiding place, which was the crawl space under their home, and he would escape into an imaginary place. And, he talks about how vivid his imagination was or has been or is. So I'm glad that the grammar segment did push this one back, because it gave me a chance to talk about it, talk about the documentary itself with my lifesaver after he had watched it. And I reminded him that I had posted on Tyler Perry's homepage of his website back in 2009, not long after his mother transitioned, so about 6 months after my father. And basically, my posting was something to the effect of, having lost our favored parent, I feel a kindred connection. Basically, I felt like in the experiences that he had shared about his father, I saw that his mother was clearly his favored parent. And by having lost her not long after I lost my dad, I figured that that made for a soul connection, basically. But my lifesaver, when I was saying that to him, reminding him of that, he was saying that it's actually based on clinical evidence, even more of a connection, because it's shown that children emulate the parent that favors them least as a means of validation. And so my thought about it immediately was, well, bless Tyler that he was able to take his dogged work ethic from his father and turn that into what it became, his empire. So awful can breed awesome in some way. I mean, it might not seem that way to him because he's the one who experienced it, but awful can breed awesome. But what I'll just add to that is that sometimes, with parents who do the best that they can, you can't expect someone to do what they are not able to do. It puts us in a position that we have to take every day as an opportunity to break those patterns and claim more and better. And that's what I am affirming for everyone. Divine favor for abundantly more in 24. And that's all, and that's it. So with that as a reminder, my biggest third eye 13 aspiration is to host my beloved thriving 13th babies, the 8th wonder of the world, Mr. Stevie Wonder, May 13th, Auntie Whoopi Goldberg, November 13th, and the 13th of September trifecta, Miss Iyanla Van Zant, Mr. Tavis Smiley, and for real, again now, Mr. Tyler Perry. And my biggest professional aspiration, the way that I would go back to LA to live, is to join Team Cube Vision and help build out a radio podcast division at the direction of my beloved renegade phenomenal 15th baby, Mr. O'Shea Jackson, Ice Cube, yay, June 15th. So I thank you now for touching and agreeing with me on all of this, please. And so that's going to do it for now. And it would be fantastic if you would like this video and follow the page if you can. That way you can see what's coming up. And with that, I sincerely appreciate that you took the time to hear me out. And I affirm that, be it by divine appointment, you'll hear me the next time as well. And I release it now to the source to be done. And so it is. Amen and Ashe.